Hello students, welcome to chemistry class. Today we are going to discuss the topic molecules of compounds of chapter atoms and molecules. Learning outcomes. After the completion of the topic, students, you will be able to number 1 define the term molecule of compound. Means you will be able to write the meaning of the term molecule of compound. Number 2, you will be able to classify the molecules of compounds on the basis of number of atoms present in them as diatomic, triatomic, tetratomic and polyatomic molecules. Number 3, write atomicity of different molecules of compounds like HCl, CCl4. Number 4, find the ratio by the mass of the combining elements in different compounds. Like in water, you will be able to find the ratio of hydrogen and oxygen atoms by mass. Number 5, you will be able to compare the molecules of elements with the molecules of compounds like oxygen with that of HCl. Number 6, you will be able to verify the ratio by number of atoms of the elements in the molecules of compounds, like you can tell the ratio of hydrogen and oxygen atoms by number in case of water. Students, in the previous class we have discussed molecules of elements. Let's revise it. Molecules of elements consist of same type of atoms. They are homoatomic. Like in oxygen molecule, there are 2 atoms of oxygen. In ozone molecule having formula O3, there are 3 oxygen atoms. Molecules of compounds. Atoms of different elements join together in fixed ratio to form molecules of compounds. So these are heteroatomic because elements are different. Here you can see the case of water in which 2 hydrogen atoms are combining with 1 oxygen atom. Similarly, in ammonia, 1 nitrogen is joined with 3 hydrogen atoms. In CO2 and in methane, different elements are combined together. So students, here we have achieved first learning outcome, that is you are now able to define the term molecules of compounds. Next, classification. On the basis of number of atoms present, molecules of compounds are classified into diatomic, triatomic, tetratomic and polyatomic molecules. With these all we will deal one by one. Diatomic molecule. These are made up of 2 atoms of different elements like HCl. Here 1 atom of hydrogen and 1 atom of chlorine are joined. Carbon monoxide. 1 atom of carbon and 1 atom of oxygen are joined together. So in their total there are 2 atoms. Next is triatomic molecules. They consist of 3 atoms of different elements. Like in water, 1 atom of oxygen and 2 atoms of hydrogen are present. Similarly, in case of carbon dioxide, 1 atom of carbon is joined with 2 oxygen atoms. Next is tetratomic molecules. These are made up of 4 atoms of different elements like ammonia having formula NH3, hydrogen peroxide having formula H2O2. Next is polyatomic molecules. Poly means they are made up of more than 4 atoms of different elements like nitric acid having formula HNO3. So there are in total 5 atoms, 1 atom of hydrogen, 1 atom of nitrogen and 3 atoms of oxygen. Similarly, in case of methane having formula CH4, there is 1 carbon which is joined with 4 hydrogen atoms. So students, here we have achieved second learning outcome, that is now you are able to classify molecules of compounds on the basis of number of atoms present in them. Next is atomicity. We have already discussed it in the previous class, but that was atomicity of molecules of elements. Now we are going to discuss atomicity of molecules of compounds. Atomicity, as you all know, is the number of atoms present in a molecule. In case of compounds like HCl, here atomicity is 2 because one atom of hydrogen and one atom of chlorine are joined. Atomicity of CCl4, that is carbon tetrachloride, is 5 because there is one carbon atom and 4 chlorine atoms. Atomicity of compounds like carbon monoxide is 2, water 3, methane has atomicity 5 and hydrogen peroxide has atomicity 4. Students, here we have achieved third learning outcome, that is now you are able to write atomicity of molecules of compounds. Now let's see the video explaining the molecules of elements and molecules of compounds.
Everything around us is made of matter. Atoms are the building blocks of matter. Atoms combine to form molecules. The atoms in a molecule are held together by chemical bonds. A single water molecule is made up of an oxygen atom and 2 hydrogen atoms. Have you ever wondered how many atoms can group to form a molecule? Let's find out. Click each tab to learn more. Atoms of a single element bond together to form a molecule of that element. For example, 2 atoms of hydrogen bond to form a molecule of hydrogen. Molecules of metals are very complex. Metals form crystal structures. Atoms of different elements come together in definite proportions to form a molecule of a compound. For example, 1 atom of carbon and 2 atoms of oxygen bond to form a molecule of carbon dioxide. The number of atoms of an element that bond to form a molecule is the atomicity of the element. Diatomic molecules are molecules with only 2 atoms. Molecules of elements as well as molecules of compounds can be diatomic molecules. 2 atoms of oxygen bond to form an oxygen molecule. Here, the atomicity of oxygen is 2. The oxygen molecule is a diatomic molecule of an element. 1 atom of hydrogen and 1 atom of chlorine bond to form a molecule of hydrochloric acid. Thus, we have a diatomic molecule of a compound. Polyatomic molecules are molecules made up of more than 2 atoms. Molecules of elements as well as molecules of compounds can be polyatomic molecules. 3 atoms of oxygen bond to form an ozone molecule. So, we get a polyatomic molecule of an element. 2 atoms of oxygen and 1 atom of carbon bond to form a molecule of carbon dioxide. So, we get a polyatomic molecule of a compound. Now that you are familiar with molecules, let's sort these molecules into categories. Which of the following are molecules of elements and which are molecules of compounds? Nitrogen, ammonia, carbon monoxide, water, nitrogen dioxide, ozone. Click Solution to view the correct categories. Nitrogen and ozone are molecules of elements. Ammonia, carbon monoxide, water and nitrogen dioxide are molecules of compound.
I hope video is clear to you. Next is how to find ratio by mass of the combining atoms in case of compounds. Students, you know atomic mass of hydrogen is 1U and oxygen is 16U. So in case of water with formula H2O, the ratio of the combining atoms by mass will be 1 into 2 ratio 16, that is 1:8. Similarly, in case of carbon dioxide, the ratio will be 12:32 because atomic mass of carbon is 12 and oxygen is 16. So it will be 12:2 into 16, that is 32. On simplifying, it will come out to be 3:8. So students, here we have achieved fourth learning outcome, that is now you are able to find the ratio by mass of the combining elements in the various compounds. Next is comparison of molecules of elements with molecules of compounds. Here you can see the atoms are same, like in case of H2, O2, Cl2. But in case of molecules of compounds, combining elements are different, like in case of water, in case of HCl. So here you are able to compare the molecules of elements with the molecules of compounds. Next is how to show that the ratio of number of atoms in a particular compound. I am going to take example of water. We all know in water hydrogen and oxygen atoms combine in 2:1. How we will prove it? Let's see. We will make a table. Here we will write elements, hydrogen and oxygen. Ratio by mass of hydrogen is 1 and oxygen is 8. We have already discussed it. And atomic mass of hydrogen is 1U and oxygen is 16U. Students, here we have to divide mass ratio and atomic mass. So ratio will be 1 divided by 1, that is 1, and 8 divided by 16, that comes out to be 1/2. The most important thing is to find simplest ratio. It can be found by dividing this ratio with the smallest number. Now you can see here the smallest number out of 1 and half is half. So we will divide 1 by half, that comes out to be 2, and half by half, that comes out to be 1. So here it is proved that ratio of hydrogen and oxygen atoms by number is 2:1 in case of water. So students, here you are able to verify the ratio of number of atoms of various elements in a particular compound. So at the end of the topic, we are able to define the term molecules of compounds, classify the molecules as diatomic, triatomic, tetratomic and polyatomic molecules. You are also able to write atomicity of various compounds, and you are able to find ratio by mass of various elements in a particular compound. Also, you are able to compare the molecules of elements with the molecules of compounds and verify the ratio of number of atoms of elements in the molecules of compounds. Here is worksheet for you. Students, I am going to send its link to you, so kindly solve it in your notebooks. Thank you.